Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Macedo is the best.
Hi there, Loy Macedo. Speaking to you from LoyMacedo.com. Who is Loy Macedo and Think Personal Branding? Today's edition, I'm just going to give you a couple of news updates that I have, followed by what readers have written to me. And then in the ending is a fun bit where you have ridiculous questions and my answers to them. That'll be the fun bit. Everything that I'm going to share with you, the timestamp is put down below in the description box. And as usual, if you like the video, thumbs up. Don't like it, thumbs down. Put your comments. I always read them. So let's quickly start. I thought I would give you some of the old headlines which you need to keep in mind. The first one is February 28th, 2010. This was given to me by one of my viewers. Very intelligent guy. He gives me good reading material. So I read through this. So on February 28th, 2010, the national newspaper reported that the IMF, International Monetary Fund, estimated that Dubai put itself in a debt of 109 billion US dollars. Okay. The thing that is shocking is Dubai went so far ahead, expected so much that it put itself in debt. Imagine. So this really shook the market. People were very, very scared. And in order to save Dubai from losing face, because their treasury just dried up, they had, stretched themselves in too many projects. That was at that time, as far as I remember, the Dubai Metro, World Islands, Palm Island, the Dubai District, Business Bay. They had literally the tall bridge. They had changed the face of Dubai so much to the extreme, expecting so much money to just come pouring in that they put themselves in a loan of $109 billion. And then when all the cities, the projects, the buildings, everything collapsed, Dubai was in deep, deep trouble. And that is where, to save, Abu Dhabi came to the rescue. And we all know what happened next, which is why Burj Dubai, the signature building, which was Sheikh Mohammed's dream, became Burj Khalifa. So this was 28th February 2010. 3 years later, Reuters reported that the IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, gave a warning to Dubai, stating that if they do not correct itself, if they do not get a hold of itself, they are going to go through another recession, because the property prices were all just hyped up. They were just ballooned and speculated for no reason. See, keep in mind the word speculation. And because of this, in 2009, when the market crashed, 50% of whatever people spend, the value got wiped out, because Dubai is very good at just hyping and saying, giving you these amazing trailers, amazing brochures, telling you that it is, billions of people are, billions of dollars are going to come in, millions of people are going to come in, people are going to stay. So everything was just hype. And 2009 proved that it was all hype. And people lost 50% of their savings, whomsoever invested. So the IMF, through Reuters, on July 30th, 2013, gave the warning that you better, buck up, you better stop this speculative, business of marking up properties. Otherwise, you're going to go in a bust cycle again. And in this report, they say that, before I told you that Dubai's loan was 109 billion, here in this article, it says that the projects, in order to complete them, would take 180 billion. So Dubai still didn't have the money. And Dubai dug itself in a deeper hole of 142 billion. This is 3 years later. 3 years later, that is 2016. I told you 2010, 2013, 2016. UAE's deficit is set to widen at 7.2%. Now, the problem is they expected, with improving oil prices, with Expo 2020, Dubai's economy would be robust, it would get better, and Dubai was also taking steps with anti-money laundering efforts. This is a Gulf News article, so obviously, since it is from UAE, it would be positive. Now imagine 2016, they said, if, big if, oil prices improve, if Expo 2020 investment comes in, if the money laundering activities stop, Dubai situation will improve. You know, I know, 2019, oil prices have not improved. Expo 2020 is nothing but just hype. It's speculation. Not a single, apart from this building is going to be ready, this project is going to be ready. Ireland has just decided to open a pavilion. Canada has decided to open a pavilion. There's nothing happening. Only construction. We don't know. You don't know. I don't know. How does the project look like? Who's coming in? We have no idea. Okay. Now, if you go a little bit further, 2018, this is just last year, few months ago, August. This is a report by Emirates NBD, the head of MENA research, that is Khatija Haq. In Emirates NBD, it says, this whole report, you need to read it. It says the oil and gas investments and property market has slowed down. This is going to put UAE into a deeper hole. Now, why am I telling you all this? If you are a businessman, if you are an employee, if you are someone who is planning to settle down in UAE, this information is very important for you. Now, as an employer, you should not be investing big amounts, taking big risks, because for a country that is going under recession, you just don't know whether you can get your money back, or maybe it's going to be locked for the next 5 years or 10 years as a businessman. As an employee, if you're thinking that I'm going to get big salaries in Dubai, I'm going to succeed, well, newsflash, the salaries are going to reach a correction point. And for people who have been sticking to their jobs for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, have been dinosaurs, earning an easy salary, being the big bosses, they will be removed. And you need to be very careful. That is why I keep telling you, float your resumes out to the market. Get a professional resume rebrand done. Improve on your interview skills. And start networking with other people. Find out if there is a better job available in the market. Don't stick with the same company, because all the giants are going to collapse one by one. Now, this news, which I'm going to share with you next, is the one that has been causing a lot of disturbance, and a lot of people are really worried. I spoke to a couple of my business friends. This is from Daily Mail. Now, Daily Mail, the article is dated 31st January, and the nutshell of this article is Nicolas Maduro, who is the Venezuelan politician serving as the 46th president of Venezuela. He will sell 640 million US dollars worth of its gold to the UAE in return for cash to buy basic goods. Now, the total expected sale is 29 tons of gold. If you actually pay attention to the newspapers, you'll know that gold right now, the value is very low. So UAE is doing a very smart move. They are buying gold when the price is very, very low. They will keep it, and when it's time, when it reaches its peak, they will sell. So they might even double their profit. Okay, so that's a very smart move. It seems that already 15 tons has been flown to UAE. It's already been flown, and the cash will be used to support the regime. Now, what is the problem here? United States, who has this habit of interfering in countries where they can have their own personal agenda. They only interfere in countries that have oil, like Iraq. Why do you think they make a big hoo-ha-ha now in Venezuela? Why do you think they're not interested in Syria? Why do you think they're not doing anything for Palestinians? They don't care about all this. They care when oil is there. Oh, we need to bring peace. We need to, they will talk all these big, grandiose words. We need to, for human rights. They'll just bring up some bullshit. So, US National Security Advisor John Bolton has sent warnings to other countries. In fact, the United States is supporting their own sponsored candidate, that is Juan Guaido, Guaido, okay, who they consider is the right candidate, okay. Now, personally speaking, I don't know why US is interfering. Why the fuck are you interfering? Mind your own bloody business. Your house is broken. Donald Trump is not able to get things in order. The whole country is in a mess. Employment is high. Why are you interfering in Venezuela? Now, that's what I personally don't like. And people know this, countries know this, but they can't do anything. Why? Because the United States is so powerful, has so many weapons, and yes, has been the policeman for the world. Now, what I personally didn't like is Venezuela has around, out of the $1.2 billion worth of gold, some of it is in the central bank vault, and the other one, some of it is in the Bank of England. Now, after this guy, Guaido, whom United States supports, he pleaded with England, please don't give this gold. Automatically, UK said, oh, this is, this is illegal money. We are not going to give you, we have frozen the accounts. You know, personally, here's something for you to think. You seriously think that Donald Trump, who only loves Americans, his heart is bleeding for the poor Venezuelan people? You think he really cares about these other nationalities? You really think he's not bothered about USA? He's crying tears of blood for these poor people out there? You seriously think? You think United States genuinely cares about Venezuela? You think they have no interest in oil? The part that is really scary is it seems even United Arab Emirates has got a warning. It was given a warning by Senator Marco Rubio, who sent a tweet to United Arab Emirates Embassy in Washington. It sent a tweet saying anyone transporting Venezuelan gold will be subject to US sanctions. If United Arab Emirates gets sanctions, I'll tell you a lot of businesses in UAE are going to get jacked, and a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, especially the ones whose business is based on export, import, who is based on other markets outside UAE. The next one is, this news is a big one. This is from Forbes. Now, for those of you who keep saying, oh, fake news, fake news, fake news, Forbes.com, check, I'll put the link, has stated Dubai has become a money laundering paradise, says anti-corruption group. Now, I'm not trying to highlight and say, oh, Dubai is a bad place. Let me finish the article and give you my views. You'll understand. The Gulf city of Dubai has been slammed as a money laundering paradise by leading anti-corruption groups. Transparency International has said. Dubai is famous for giving supercars to its police, building palm islands, and showing off its wealth on social media. However, it has also garnered notoriety because it is a place where normal rules can be ignored or easily sidestepped. Now, this is true. Until now, it's true. Then it says, in the latest Corruption Perception Index, I want you to Google Corruption Perception Index 2018. The anti-graft campaigning group Transparency International has said, Dubai has become an active global hub where money laundering and other where corruption and criminals can buy luxury properties with no restrictions. This is also true. You can make black money, which is illegal, into white money. You just buy a property. They will not ask you, where did you get it from? How did you get 1 million? How are you putting that? Oh, you want to buy this one. And after you buy, you'll say, I bought with my hard-earned money. I'm running this business legally. So you can have a legal business upfront, which is, one of the biggest supermarkets, among the biggest supermarkets. This medical center, this exchange. I don't want to give the names. You think they did it with hard work? You think they did it with, praying to God and working hard with their hands? No, they did it with black money. You know who I'm talking about. I don't want to give their names. All right. So, citing investigations, last year, the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project and the Center for Advanced Defense Studies, that is C4ADS, Transparency International said, the real estate worth millions of pounds can be purchased in Dubai in exchange for cash. And nobody is going to ask you any questions, despite shortcomings. Now, until now, I agree. Here also they say, despite UAE's shortcomings, UAE is still rated as the best country in the Middle East and North Africa region when it comes to corruption. And I totally agree with this. Okay? So I'm not saying only the bad, I'm also saying the good. Now, let me tell you something that will make you laugh. This was not mentioned in the project. I did a bit of my research. if 0 is the worst and 100 is the best, okay? So out of 100 marks, if 100 is the best, 0 is the worst. United States is 71. UAE is 70. That means it's just below US. So you see how they manipulated this report to make it look like Dubai is a bad place. Dubai is very bad. If USA is just 1 point above Dubai or UAE, that means UAE is good. So you see how journalism can be manipulated. Let me tell you more so as to give you a perspective. US is 71, UAE is 70, Qatar is 62, that means even worse. Saudi is even more worse, 49. And for Emiratis to feel happy for once, India is 41. So UAE is up here in terms of honesty, goodness, nice. India is half down, 41. Sri Lanka is 38, even lower. Our Pakistani brothers, they are 33, even more lower. That means they're even more corrupt. And the corruptest among all the nationalities which are there in UAE, Bangladesh is 28. You can say number one. They're not actually number one. I don't know which is the country that has got 0. But the best country overall, it seems, is Denmark with a score of 88 points. I have still yet to figure out which is the country with the worst record. So what I'm trying to tell you is, yes, Dubai has corruption. Yes, Dubai has, black money that is coming in. But that doesn't mean Dubai is the worst place in the world. The problem is when you have reports like these, which come in Forbes, it paints a very bad picture. It's like how you manipulate media. And I'll tell you, this kind of report is not good for UAE because it really, really will impact people's perception of wanting to invest over there. Especially, when I'm talking of rules. See, Dubai is notorious for this. Like the 496 million, that is $500,000 fund that was owned by a Kuwaiti investment firm. The money just got frozen by Dubai's bank account, by this Dubai bank in November 2017. And despite that, Kuwait has said that, they've given evidence and said, this is legal money, release it. Dubai has, as of now, even now, said, sorry, we can't release it. They're not given any statement, but they've not released. So I'm leaving it to you to decide, good or bad, you judge for yourself. For those people, especially Asians who like buying gold, well, jewelry sales have dropped by 23%, especially after the introduction of VAT. Now people are not buying gold from UAE. As far as I know, some of the businessmen who I've spoken to, they said they're buying it from Oman. And you have John Mulligan, who is the head and the member of market relations in London. He said 2018 was one of the worst years, the lowest for gold jewelers. I know some of my friends who were running gold shops. They have either shut down the extra branches, and later on, I'll also be sharing with you some photographs of Joy Alucas. They have shut down some of their shops. Okay. In the news, we also have Do announces resignation of Chief Financial Officer, 31st January 2019. That is Amir Kazim. He has resigned. My theory is, if the market is booming, if you are successful, if the company is successful, you will continue with the company because, yes, you might get your bonuses. You might get, maybe profit share. You have great chance to grow. But you will jump from a company to another company when you know something that the market doesn't know. Personally, as far as I've known, I've worked with a lot of financial guys in terms of personal branding. Financial guys, the guys who crunch numbers, they're very, very smart. And if he has jumped ship, if he has jumped from Do, it is because he knows something is going to happen. And that should be a matter of caution. This is a report that someone sent me, February 2nd, 2019. It seems you can be fired for taking unauthorized leave in UAE. I think it's common sense. If you think you can just take a holiday anytime you want, obviously the employer can fire you. So I don't see this as a big deal. This one is a funny news. In Khaleej Times, bank sues Emirati woman for 1 million. Actually, it says bank sues UAE cafeteria owner. But the real news is Emirati woman, she took a personal loan of 250,000. She took a business loan of more than 500,000. She took credit card debt of 27,000, and now it's up to 1 million. And then when the bank asked her to pay the money, she took the bank to court, and the court, the first level, proved she is guilty. So she went to the appeals court. Again, they proved she is guilty. She took the case all the way to the federal Supreme Court, and finally they said, "I'm sorry, you're guilty, not the bank." Just imagine, if you are an expat, can you take the bank to court? But if you're a local shokal, if you are Emirati, you can take. Fortunately, the bank here had, the court had common sense and told the woman, "Sorry, you have 1 million with this money that you have borrowed and you spend it on whatever, pay it back." Good. She deserves it. Anyone, any nationality, if you take money, you need to pay it back. The next one is, this one is another funny one from Khaleej Times, 2nd February 2019. If you're absconding, you're in trouble. But if your company owner fails to report that you're absconding, the owner will get 50,000 dirhams fine. So I found that very funny. Why? Because one of the companies whose worker ran away, the company didn't bother to report. Now they have to pay a 50,000 dirhams fine. So Dubai is a fine country. Okay, UAE, sorry. In the news, you also have, this phone scam gang. They say, "Congratulations, you have won 1 million. If you deposit this money, you'll get it transferred," whatever. It seems this whole gang has been caught. They look like Pakistanis, although they have not confirmed it here. I'm very glad that people like this are caught. They should be caught. Now, focusing on UAE claiming to be the year of tolerance. They are showing, Pope has come, the Pope has come. We are tolerant. Oh, there's a Hindu parking area for Hindu temple worshippers. We are tolerant. Okay. Let's look at the other side. After Qatar thrashed UAE, which is thrashed in terms of football, and Qatar won, instead of having the news update, which should say, like for example, if UAE won, they would say UAE is champion. They would say UAE are champions, or they would say UAE does it, achieved greatness. Instead of saying, suppose UAE won, they would say UAE is great. UAE are champions. So if Qatar won, they should say Qatar are champions. Instead of saying Qatar are champions, the country that claims to be the year of tolerance says, "Unlucky Japan loses AFC Asia Final Cup." Now, is that called being tolerant? Is that called being a good sportsman? Or is that really bad, pathetic journalism? Why? Because they want to kiss ass. They want to kiss ass and say, "UAE, we are with you. You don't like Qatar, we will badmouth them." And look at the lines that they put. Instead of talking about Qatar, the whole article is Japan, the 4-time AFC Asia Cup champions, failed in their mission to lift the new trophy. Japan fought hard in the second last, like a champion, dug deep to grab a positive result, but they couldn't succeed. And see, this is the sentence that really made my blood boil. It said, "It is a sad end to the biggest Asia tournament as Qatar won the title." Shame on you, man. Shame on you, Khaleej Times. Shame on you, that bloody journalist or whatever. Poor fellow, maybe he has no other choice. But shame on you. You should be a good sport. If someone beats me in a game, I would say he is a better man. That's it. He's a better man. But instead, you show your poor sportsmanship by throwing your bloody slipper, by buying all the tickets so that nobody can come in. Yes, these are mind games and not everyone is the same. I agree with that. But this shows the culture of the majority. Just as even India and Pakistan, when the game is played, first they'll say India is like, brother, sister, Pakistan is our neighbor. But the minute the Indian cricket starts, teri maa ki, teri bahan ki, teri iski, teri uski, if you know Hindi, they say your mother's this, your father's that, and they act like, bloody kids. I have never taken sports so seriously where I found it necessary to abuse someone, to call them bad names, and worse is behaving like hooligans. And if you actually say football, especially where British fans are concerned, I think they are among the worst. Okay, so the next one is this one is a rather shocking news which didn't make sense. It seems that February 3rd, this is breaking news. Holiday has been announced for public and private schools by the Ministry of Education on Monday and for public and private schools on Tuesday. I'm pretty sure there is something really either seriously wrong or there is a VIP coming to visit. So one of the two, because this just doesn't happen, and they refuse to comment, which is a rather shocking bit. It's like, why? This one was sent to me by one guy. He's a Pakistani. He sent it to me from Pakistan. Loy, they are giving Pakistanis free rent-free space in Dubai. I want to go to Dubai. I want to go to Dubai. Khaleej Times has reported that the advisor to Pakistan and overseas Pakistani HRD, that is Human Resource Development, Zulfi Bukhari, okay, they have negotiated the launch of rent-free workspaces with Star Business Center. So it's one center. It's not the entire UAE, okay? So all these Pakistani friends of mine who watch my channel, oh, Pakistan, हम लोग वहां जाएंगे, rent-free. Chill the fuck up, my dear friend. It's just one business center. They have not read the fine print. They have not told you on what basis do you qualify. If it was free rent for any Pakistani guy, a Pakistani shoe cobbler, a Pakistani, let's say, businessman who's selling maybe, he's selling grocery, vegetables, he can open a shop. No. They will choose. I'm pretty sure they will choose. And for those of you who are stupid enough and dumb enough, who are immature enough to believe that, Dubai is going to offer something for free, there's no such thing as a fucking free lunch. So grow the fuck up. And the location, if you actually look at it, is in Business Bay, Jumeirah Lake Towers, and Business District. So they will have a criteria for you to qualify. I'm very sure about it. It's not going to be for a vegetable seller. It's not going to be for a man who sells plastic bags. It's going to be for companies that have a certain working capital, have a certain qualification. And personally, if I had a business, I wouldn't want to go where they are offering everything for free because you'll get free loaders coming there. It's always a headache. So guys, I hope this answers all your questions. Like I said, I always answer questions. I read your comments. And yes, if you have any emails, anything that you'd like to share, please go ahead. Like I always say, like the video, thumbs up, don't like it, thumbs down. And this is me signing off for now. Take care.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Macedo is the best.